Mike, check. Justin Hunt. It's all happening. Thank you to everybody rocking with the channel. Thank you to everybody subscribed to the channel, who shared a video, shared what we're doing over here is priceless. Big thank you to everyone who's donated. If you'd like to donate or contribute, you can hit the Cash App right up there, or there is a link in the description. It'll take you to a link tree. And big thank you to all my new members, all of y'all. Drew Devortney, Tamila, James McCrory with the re-up, Savage Zoe, Jay Smith, David, Mars, Jim M, Corey Brooks, Julian Dodd, Barn Farm Bury One. That's a dope name, Barn Farm Bury One. Billionaires Forever Club, Mick Hoya, Designing Saturn with the re-up, Jay Lee. 9-second applause. Thank you. It's been an exciting year, and I'm really appreciative, blessed, highly favored, thankful for all of you guys for rocking with this channel. I've been having a lot of fun, and I hope you guys have too. Big stories today. So, up first, Andrew Shulz. I've been spelling his name wrong the whole time. I didn't realize there's no T. I guess that's something I should have known, or maybe I shouldn't have known because I don't really watch his stuff all that often. Last week or 2 weeks ago, Andrew Shulz decided to make himself the victim of a Kendrick Lamar bar that doesn't say his name. We did a whole video on that on the channel. Check it out if you missed it. I'll put a link to it in the description. It will definitely be one of the cards in this video. But the line was, never let no white comedian talk about no black woman, that's law. And Andrew Shulz decided he wanted to make jokes about R.ing Kendrick. I described this whole thing in my piece as just a product of the media in which we're in. And in their world, since Kendrick got to say certified PDF files, then it's only fair that Andrew Shulz gets to R. Kendrick. That is their logic. And honestly, that is exactly what Schulz has been doing. He is doubling down using that logic, using that exact logic. Now, there was a recent episode of The Brilliant Idiots where him and Charlamagne were talking about this. And, Schulz put on his victim posture and said, oh, people got the timeline wrong and all these things. I'm not going to go into that clip too heavy. But I do want to show a clip of his reaction where you can tell like he's very upset. He's very bothered, regardless of how cool he's trying to play this. So here's a quick clip.
Okay, so Al,
even if they mistook his words and thought he was talking,
you're not
about
wrong.
you.
You're moving it.
You're not
Okay,
wrong.
so keep that same energy then.
Listen, I don't care.
Listen to how high-pitched his voice is getting. Keep that same energy then.
Either way, I'm just simply telling y'all two things. Number one, I don't like.
There's rules.
I don't.
Rap beef now. We found the
No,
rules.
three things I don't like.
Handle the booty goons.
Three things I don't like about this situation. Number one, all the newcomers who don't know what it is we do here. Number two, none of us should be bothered by this, right? That's right.
Who's bothered? I don't think I've ever seen anybody who wasn't bothered be like, who's bothered? Andrew Shulz is bothered. He is very bothered. He's been getting beat up in the media, and he continues to double down. I believe he has a new comedy special that's coming up. I think there's a big segment of media who thinks that everything is content. Everything is content. And so he is throwing himself onto the altar of page views by claiming that Kendrick dissed him, even though Kendrick didn't say his name. Now, who's bothered? You're bothered. 1 second applause.
Yeah, you're acting a little bothered. You're acting a little bothered. And number three.
No, hold on. Who's bothered?
Al's acting a little bothered. Listen.
I'm only bothered. I'm only bothered if y'all are gonna perpetuate lies.
But here's the most.
Don't lie on me.
Here's the most important thing.
Keep it.
Here's the most important thing. Everybody got to deal with the consequences of their words. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Everybody got to deal with the consequences of their words. There's a 9-minute clip that's on social media right now. It's on Twitter if you guys want to check it out. I am not the biggest proponent of Andrew Shulz, but this did happen. It's a follow-up to the story that we covered a couple of weeks ago. And so Andrew Shulz is now doubling down. A lot of times people, whenever they find themselves in unfortunate media cycles, they will, sometimes, in my opinion, the most honorable ones will be like, you know what, I went too far, whatever. But Andrew Shulz is drawing false equivalencies to this situation. I mean, there's even a clip in there where he says, well, Kendrick did it to Drake. Charlamagne and everyone else is like, you're not Drake. Okay. They're in the middle of a rap battle. You're on the sidelines, made a bad joke. And now you're comparing yourself to, you know, people who are in the middle of a direct cultural confrontation. So, nevertheless, I brought that up to let you, as more of a backstory to today's story, because Andrew Shulz has been getting beat up. Everybody's been looking at Schulz kind of crazy, especially with how far he's taken this. You know, social media has been eating him up. You know, there obviously, of course, there's a sector of conversation, his fans, of course, who are coming to his defense, and obviously Drake people are also coming to his defense too. It's not totally against him, but there's a large swath of people who are not cool with this, and rightfully so. You know, he's taking credit for something that isn't obviously about him. He falls into a big bucket of a particular type of humor that, you know, rocks in certain corners of the media sphere, definitely the manosphere. And then a bunch of people who are telling, you know, talking to our own community, telling them to, hey, we got to curb certain things. We can't be platforming certain energies because other communities don't do it the same way. There are definitely communities who don't allow anything close to any of this kind of stuff going down. So it's just it's a reaction to a conversation about unity amongst the Black community, and Schulz has been feeling the brunt of that, right? So he does a show with Charlamagne. That's what they talked about on their show. And as Schulz has been getting beat up, here comes 50 Cent to the rescue. 50 Cent to the rescue. 50 came on to Brilliant Idiots today. Not Brilliant Idiots. What's the other? I don't even know the name of the other show. Flagrant. It's called Flagrant. So 50 Cent came on to Flagrant today and made comments about Andrew Schulz's comments. Now, put it into context, I believe Schulz performed at 50 Cent's comedy event that he had in Baton Rouge this summer. He did a comedy show. So 50's in a comedy space. They have a relationship. That's the backstory, I think, to him going on this show. There's a part in this podcast episode where he talks about repaying a favor. So, you know, that's part of it. But here's what 50 Cent had to say about Andrew Schulz. Coming through to the rescue. 50 Cent caping for Andrew Schulz. It's all happening.
Right. But I don't understand what got into you. This made you say you was gonna fuck Kendrick.
Whoa. I said make sweet.
Did you hear that? He said, I don't understand what got into you that made you say that you wanted to F Kendrick. All right, now here's Schultz's version of humor. It's coming up next.
Love.
Sweet love. I registered for
No. We wouldn't do
No, it's not. Look, you know what? I apologize, guys.
Yes.
This is your camera, right? Yeah, this is from years and years of trauma. This comes from abuse from the neighborhood that I grew up in. This comes from a lot of different things, and make sweet love. I heard fuck when you said it.
That's the
it was
people.
Aggressive. I don't know why I
So
registered that way. And then look, for people to write petitions behind it, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. Because I mean, look, you saying, look, I
mean, people to write petitions behind it does sound crazy on face value, but this is stuff that happens with other communities all the time. All the time. You know what I mean? Like, essentially what this is the Black community saying they don't like Andrew Schulz jokes. They don't like the way he's joking about Black women. And Schulz is truthfully, it wasn't even about him necessarily. It was the idea of it, the pervasiveness of targeting a community that's actually endangered. Like, Black women are a very targeted community, statistically speaking. It's not like it's not like we're talking about, a community that doesn't have the highest, death rates during pregnancy, like the least protected population is Black women. So that's where the conversation is coming from. Now, Schulz wants his freedom to do that. And, people made a petition against Andrew Schulz because of his proximity to blackness. He spends most of his time making jokes about culture, hip-hop culture, definitely. He, in my opinion, he blew up because of Charlemagne. I never heard of him outside of Charlemagne, ever. And so people are like, yeah, man, you shouldn't be doing that. He's like, yes, I can. Yes, I can do that. Yeah, so, you know, that's his argument and that's his position, which makes all of this even more tragic, in my opinion. So crazy, sure, but not really that crazy, Fifth.
I follow comedic culture. I watch the comedians. I enjoy them on another level.
You are a comedian.
Yeah. What I appreciate about it is they are invincible. Yeah. When I watch them, I look and I go, there's no point that you could do something that actually damages what they developed, what they built. Like, you know, like they go, like, in any case, like Cat Williams could fight a 15-year-old kid that is his height and not do so well.
So that was a clip. I mean, he made a reference to it. He slid past it. 50 is a very slippery interview. He will lightly touch on something and slide into a whole nother conversation. But, you know, I was waiting to see whether or not he said he laughed at Schulz's joke. I wasn't sure if he laughed at that or not, you know, the one he made about R.ing Kendrick, you know, because, you know, if Drake is taking beatings, then Schulz got to swoop in. And if Schulz taking beatings, then 50 Cent got to come through. So 1 second applause for Captain Saber Schulz. 50 Cent. All right, so that was a conversation around that. Now, I had a conversation with Jason Martin. It's on this channel right now. It's a fantastic conversation. It really is. It's about 2 hours long. Then there's 2 clips that are also out as well that have been live this weekend. But we actually did talk about Andrew Shulz in this situation. And so here's Jason Martin's reaction to all of this.
The white niggas do what they want to do, man. And they've been allowed to do what they want to do for a long time, bro. And I think just everybody's just starting to, like, eyes are just starting to get a little bigger. Just like, hold on, homie. We decide who's powerful. We decide who's powerful. So, meaning we can decide who's not. Just like that. Like, I'm talking about like that. Like, we can create our own council culture, you know, as a race, if we wanted to. We just fucking love everybody so fucking much. We so goddamn understanding. I hate that shit. I'm not that kind of black. I've never been that kind of black. No. I'm not that forgiving. I don't forget shit. I remember it all. I don't like people talking about us. I don't like people saying what they want. I feel like we should all be created equal. And if I said that about somebody, they losing endorsements, they pulling me off a lot. I can't even talk on IG Live. I can't even smoke a joint legally in LA on IG Live without them pulling my stream down. Right. But that man can film himself talking about raping the homie, edit it up, upload it, and the world get to see it. And he's gonna have his job. He's gonna keep his gig. Yeah. And then black people are gonna defend him. Oh, he's a comedian. He didn't mean it that way.
That's what happened.
I know. I don't nig that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let everybody else do their black the way they like to do it. I don't fuck with that. Somebody should have slapped, bro. Like right there, smack. Hey, bro, don't do that. You don't talk about one of our cultural leaders like that. You don't do that. You shouldn't feel that fucking comfortable around me. Do that with your white homies at the house.
1 second applause. Shout out to Jason Martin. So that is 50 Cent's comments on that. Now, 50 Cent had a lot more to say on this podcast. Again, he was on there for 2 hours. And there was a point where he talks about he shares his opinion on Drake taking legal action against UMG. This is actually a pretty interesting clip. Now, these are things that he said before, to be honest. He has said this on Big Boy, etc. But it's the way that this conversation is actually handled that stood out to me. So take a look at this.
Like you look and go, look, right now you think, like in Drake's case, because of the success, he's feeling the backlash of his success. Mm-hmm. Right now, everything that he said he did, they did, and that lawsuit, they did it.
What do you mean?
Like Universal Music Group,
reducing
everything.
the price of the...
Well, I have an issue with that first thing. That right off the gate, I have an issue with that. Everything, because he said this on Big Boy. This is why he showed the ops list, for example. And he said that everything Drake's experiencing is a backlash of his success. I don't know. I mean, if you literally take the public things that the other rap Avengers said about him, for example, not even just Kendrick, if you take the other rap Avengers at their word, it's more about how he treated them than it was about him just being on top for too long. That narrative doesn't stick well with me. Two, just the off-record conversations that I've had lets me know it's definitely not just him being too successful. This isn't this level of attack, if you can even call it that. I look at it as retribution. I mean, this is just what happens when you do people wrong for so long in so many different ways. But this level isn't because this dude has been sitting on top of the world for too long. This is literally, man, I'm just sick of this. This is a bunch of people sitting around talking to each other. They're saying, oh, that happened to you too? That's what that looks like to me. 50 is bringing this down. It's almost like he's dismissing all these other things that people have said. And I know that he knows these things off record. But 50 tends to look at the world this way. His book, The 50th Law, is amazing. And it really talks about these kind of things. It leans into this perspective. But I don't agree with that up front.
No, everything that he did is a part of marketing.
I feel that too. Yep.
They do it for everybody.
Yes,
They probably did it for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I would look and go, look, at Interscope, they was delivering G-Unit and G-Unit. I know.
They were delivering G-Unit and G-Unit at Interscope. Now, that's a reference to his beef with the Game. G-Unit and G-Unit at the same time at Interscope. Okay. 50 didn't file legal action. Neither did Game.
The feeling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, at the same time, yeah.
Wow. So they're making money on both sides.
Yes.
Right, because they're looking at it like a business completely, not personalizing each individual.
Play both sides. You got money on both
They're like,
sides.
whatever.
Play the record, don't play it.
They're just selling music. They don't care about.
It's not a personal relationship
Right.
at all. Yeah, it's like Hershey's
And you-
owns Kit Kat too.
You'll feel personal because you'll feel like you made them so much money. And they'll go, no, it's not personal at all.
But Drake's your man. How do you personally feel about him suing?
Look, I like Drake's music. I'm a Drake
Watch this part right here. Watch how 50 handles this.
fan.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that listen to the music and I start to like what's happening in our culture, right? So, and then there's a point where your voice becomes a hit. And as soon as it comes on, we know, like, we're not struggling to say this is good. We're not, it's just there. Like, and I like his shit. Kendrick shit the same. Kendrick is closer technically because of the Dr. Dre connection. But
Kendrick's closer technically because of the Dr. Dre connection. We'll come back to that.
I do feel like I went through a portion of what he's experienced.
When you were on top, everybody wants to take a shot.
Yeah, and that, look, you see how he lashed at everybody?
Yeah, you had the list.
That don't feel like 50 Cent?
But see, that's maybe that's the reason why 50 frames it that way, because 50 also made How to Rob. He did make a song where he called out literally everybody trying to get on. He had a personal situation with Ja Rule, Irv Gotti, Murder Inc. And because they were cool with Fat Joe, Jadakiss, and Ja Rule, they were all cool, he went at them too. I don't know if they were going at him because he was on top. And even if reading the 50th Law, he talks a lot about taking advantage of situations. He even did this in the Big Boy interview the other day. I think I played a clip of that part where he said this. Maybe I didn't. I think the original cut had it in there. But he said, I didn't start any beefs. I just made sure that I took advantage of them when they showed up. Right. And so that's what he did. Right. He started wielding beef, especially on those later projects. Like by the time you get to Curtis and Before I Self-Destruct, you know, like Massacre, Curtis, Before I Self-Destruct, like that was almost like he was picking fights. New York City's own bad guy. Classic project, Get Rich or Die Trying. The Massacre's really good. Curtis, Before I Self-Destruct is underrated. But this sort of everybody's coming at me is a level of victimhood I'm not used to hearing from 50. And that seems to be what he's commiserating on with Drake. And in both of these descriptions are leaving the fact that they did stuff. They actually did stuff. 50 and Ja Rule, that's one thing. 50 and Jadakiss? 50 and Fat Joe? I don't know. 50 and Cam? One thing. I don't know. But
Oh shit!
You see what I'm saying? Like that's what that experience.
You were doing that before you had anything.
Wait, so what happened?
He's good at doing the weave.
How do you feel about him
Suing. Do you think he should?
Oh damn, I got caught
I
up in
mean,
this
I
other
know
story.
he does the weave. He's good. He's good. This guy is like a cop.
This guy's like a cop. This is the part I wanted to come back to. 50 tried not to give an honest answer. He tried not to give a direct answer on that. He said, how do you personally feel? Oh, yeah, I commiserate with Drake. You know, I've been on top and people were coming at me. Oh, I see it. Oh, okay. And this guy's like, no, how do you personally feel, Fifth? Yes, Fifth. How do you personally feel about the guy that you're commiserating with filing legal action? He does a great job of giving analysis of what he sees. But what's being asked is, does 50 respect this? Does 50 respect it? Let's see how 50's answers. Let's see what he says.
No,
What do you mean like a cop?
What do you mean? I don't feel cop energy. Literally,
He's a cop. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. Hey, Al, right now,
I ain't locked nobody
Al,
up.
we're engaged in this beef. We need the police on our side. Okay? We have police everywhere, in every single city.
I'm feeling Vlad energy off.
I'm feeling Vlad energy off.
Oh, don't put that on me.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Get him. I'm feeling like
That's crazy.
I'm feeling like someone's going to jail for him. He's going out of there.
You don't want to answer
You
the
gave
question.
the
That's
weed. You gave the weed.
okay.
Yeah, I know. He's slick.
I know. Hold on. That's crazy.
He's slick.
But tell us though.
No, I think look, I never knew if it for what I was thinking it's for. Then I understand it.
If it's for what you're thinking.
If it's for what I think it's for, then I understand it. Very precise language. Just very precise.
Yes.
The song for me played at the
As a
Super
business
Bowl
player.
because of the do further damage.
That would be wild to hear that. The entire Super Bowl is calling you a pedophile.
Yes.
Crazy.
Wop.
All right, I can't do any more Schulz. But that was the main points of 50 that jump out at me. So, you know, he's commiserating with Drake in this situation, which he's been doing all year. I mean, we've covered a number of stories here that about 50 going to see Drake in Toronto, talking about him in interviews, reminding Drake that he really hasn't lost anything. He should just keep doing his thing. I think at some point in this conversation, they talk about how Drake should have either gone away or just gone on tour, ran it up globally. But he did not want to address directly how he felt about the legal action. 1 second applause. But very, very cagey, very, very slippery language for 50 Cent. Now, it's really interesting. There's a lot of discussions around 50 Cent and Kendrick. Snoop Dogg released The Missionary this week. I've listened to it. I don't have a glowing review at this point. I need to listen to it more. I will be honest about that. Perhaps it's a slow burn, but he's on a track with Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent, Dr. Dre produced it, if I'm not mistaken. And it's called Gunsmoke. And his verse is getting a lot of attention because it looks like he's potentially subbing Kendrick or jabbing Kendrick. Maybe not full-on dissing Kendrick. We know what it looks like when 50 full-on disses somebody. But here are the lyrics that have a lot of people discussing where 50 Cent is coming from. He says, they say he a big stepper. I'm just saying I am not the type to get stepped on. I ain't got a big weapon. Got Glock 17 with the switch, but the clip long. I ain't finna play with you. Boy, you F around, I'ma have a catch a fade with you. Get the blick in broad day with you. Have the little homies run down while babe with you. So Little Homies is a production crew with Kendrick Lamar, Dave Free, I believe. And then he starts it off with the big stepper line. You might get stepped on. And so a lot of people are reading this as another opportunity 50's taken to show support to Drake that we just heard in that conversation. 50 says closer to Kendrick through the Dr. Dre situation, but 50's a man who moves on his own. And when people are going left, 50 goes right. And I think we're seeing a lot of that with this conversation. And the fact that he even wrote a verse that could be taken this way, that's surprising. Regardless of when this verse was written, that big stepper stepped on in the Little Homies line. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this. This is a conversation that's happening right now. And let me know what you think about 50 Cent coming to save Andrew Shulz. Captain Saver Schulz. 50 Cent, 1 second applause. My name is Justin Hunt. Like, subscribe to the channel. Follow at The Company Man on everything. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping in. Systematical culture views, it's radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, yes, y'all, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.